Conservatives, I know that many of you love Donald Trump. You feel like he is your warrior, he is your defender. He is the only person who sees you for who you truly are and is going to help to advance your interests in DC. Now, unfortunately for you, none of that is true. It's not true at all. But I don't have any chance to get it through to you on Donald Trump. And I'm not even trying, don't go anywhere. But Tucker Carlson is very much not Donald Trump. And I get that many of you still like him too. But what does he think about the politician that you love like you've never loved a politician before? Turns out he has strong feelings. They just might not be the feelings he's pretended they are on his show. He said of him, "I hate him passionately." This is apparently close to some of the other text messages that were revealed last week where he called Trump a demonic force, which for the QAnon right wing seems like fighting words, invoking demons and all that. But forget about the destroying, the undisputed world champion of chaos and demons. I hate him passionately. And he goes on, "We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights," he said on January 4th, 2021. Turns out, no, you were not that close 2 days before the insurrection. I truly can't wait. And look, I get the sentiment. It would be nice to have an American politics that didn't by necessity need to be so much about Donald Trump. But that's me as like a lefty saying that. For you as a conservative, why is your avatar of right-wing populism talking so much smack about the politician you love? He hates him passionately and he desperately wants him to be out of the news, which isn't just insulting, it's gonna actively hurt Trump's chance of getting reelected. And that I know is the only hope that you have for the future is him being reelected again. Tucker Carlson doesn't want him to even be discussed. And I'm gonna add one more little funny bit to this, because again, all of this is about the massive galactic scale gap between what he says when he doesn't think the audience he hates so much is watching and what he says on air. On air, on October 30th, 2020, this is right before the election, he said, "Reporters hate Trump with an all-consuming mania. They hate him so intensely that at times it's been amusing to watch." A couple months later, "I hate him passionately." I don't know if it was amusing for him to watch it in a mirror or something, but again, he pretends to be one thing on the air, and privately he is laughing at your politicians. He's laughing at the people you love and trust. He's laughing at you. And the only question is, when are you gonna wake up to that? JR, what do you think?
I don't think they will. I keep expecting it to a small degree because, of course, we've seen it so many times. But you know what? This whole thing that comes down to this is another offshoot or consequence of our rabid, unfettered capitalism. Let's keep it real. We got people that are online. I did a story of these guys the other day that the car crashed into them behind their podcast, and the first thing they cared about was, "Hey, let's record this. Hey, you guys, follow me, follow me, follow me." And I said, they haven't even checked yet to see if the cars run over their backs and killed them. No one has asked, "Hey, you okay, bro?" Because all we're caring about is we got to make some money off of this. This is the basis for everything that happens at Fox News. If there wasn't an incentive to making as much money as possible, Tucker Carlson might be able to be 10% more honest and say, "You know, I actually hate that guy. I don't want to cover that guy. I have other things that I'm horrible about, but I hate this guy." He can't do it because that's part of their business model. It's how they make their money. So you can't be real about these things that are very important to everyone's lives and the basis for our democracy, and lying to so many different people because you got to make that money. It's just as detrimental. There's other detriments to part of our capitalism. Unlivable wages, pollution, lack of regulation on corporations, and all this stuff. It comes from that. This is just another one. So we have pundits that can't be honest because they might lose some money if they're not honest about who they are talking about.
100%, and I agree with everything you said, and I'm gonna go one step further because we do this thing at TYT which has no benefits and only negatives, where I'm gonna be super honest with you. There's a million different pressures on a person who puts together a rundown like this on what stories to talk about, what stories not to talk about, how often to talk about them, at what length to talk about, all that stuff. I'm not immune to some pressures. We were just talking about this in a meeting. I like talking about environmental stories, but I also know that people don't generally like watching environmental stories, which does not mean we don't do them. It means I have to find ways to make them more exciting. That is a consideration that you can make. But that's like from here to here, okay? That's the distance between those two things. I hate this man with a burning rage to he's the only thing that can save this American republic is so far apart. He is like Two-Face. Wasn't as much of a two-face as Tucker Carlson because at least two faces were on the same face technically, which I've always felt was a weird thing. It was really two skin sides of a face. But anyway, they were close or whatever. Tucker Carlson is the exact opposite thing as what he tries to get conservatives to see him as, what he's convinced them that he is. And so that's just ridiculous. A couple more demonstrations of it. One, super minor, but he privately said that Trump skipping Biden's inauguration was so destructive. But then when Acosta, you can see him in the photo there, he made some reference, it was like within a couple months of Tucker Carlson's private text message. He made a reference to it being insane that he's not going, that's harmful to democracy or whatever. And on air, Tucker Carlson mocked him for it. Because again, Acosta felt the exact same way as Tucker Carlson, but Tucker Carlson desperately needs to pretend that he doesn't believe that American democracy is worth anything or that a peaceful transfer of power being a part of our system is important, even just for symbolic reasons. And so it's not just that he has fascistic tendencies, is that he will play up how fascist he is for his audience.
It's a shame we've gotten to this point though, bro. That's exactly what this whole thing is about. And it's where you've seen, I think Cenk talked about this so many years before. You'll find it doesn't happen as much, but anchors from different multiple cable stations will jump around. You know, there's many folks that used to be on Fox News, they end up somewhere else. And you go, wait a second, I forgot. He or she used to be on Fox News, now they're like a normal person now. Look, Chris Wallace was always kind of trying to be the straight guy on Fox News, but you could tell there was discomfort as things went crazier. He jumped ship. He's over on CNN. They were going to get rid of him anyway. But you'll see that it fits the narrative of that company.
Yeah, imagine being this person. Imagine being married to this person. Imagine having this person be your dad or whatever. And I guess that this is like generational trauma because Tucker Carlson's dad was an absolute piece of garbage too. So who knows? Maybe in 40 years, one of his kids will turn out to be the worst. But just don't be this person. How about this? Mind your own business. I'm really trying to get that going. Can we just mind our own business, please?
We need a hat.
Okay, with that said, I know we do need a hat. That would remind people.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.